Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Imagine being stuck in a world where you can understand perfectly well, but where you don't have the voice to communicate. That's what happens to children with verbal apraxia, a baffling neurological disorder in which kids can't speak because their mouths aren't getting the information from their brains. April Woodard reports.
Can you say stomach?
Stomach.
That's pretty good. He looks fine, and if you interact with him, he'll seem fine. But if he had to tell you something in an emergency, you'd think he was either excited, couldn't get it out, or something was wrong with him. It's at that point that you discover that there was a problem.
Larissa and Scott Bilker of Barnegat, New Jersey, have good reason to worry about their son, Brandon. At 8 years old, Brandon is unable to speak intelligible, complete sentences. He suffers with a mysterious neurological disorder called verbal apraxia.
Early on, we didn't know if Brandon was a late talker. You know, everyone told us, oh, you know, Einstein talked when he was 5, and he'll probably speak just fine.
I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
As we watch Brandon and his 6-year-old younger brother, Grant, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, it is apparent how much effort and focus it takes for each word Brandon repeats to come out properly.
One nation, under God, indivisible.
Children who are verbally apraxic have been misdiagnosed as mentally retarded or autistic.
Lori Roth is a speech therapist with a specialty in oral motor skills.
The pathway from the motor center of the brain does not have a clear path to the muscles of the mouth.
So I don't understand. Say it again.
Will.
Okay, what about it?
For me, as his dad, I thought it was just real difficult watching him not be able to communicate back and forth on such very simple things.
Greg and Lisa Gang's 4-year-old son, Tanner, also suffers with apraxia.
I was first concerned about Tanner not speaking around the age of 2. And when I brought it to the attention of the pediatrician, they said they weren't concerned about him being nonverbal because he was able to understand everything. They said if he wasn't talking at 3, then they would send him for a speech and hearing evaluation.
The seriousness of this condition is underscored by the fact that there is so little information from doctors and experts. Still to this day, these children are misdiagnosed with autism and mental retardation, despite the fact they can understand perfectly.
It was very sad that we had to get more information on the internet, which Lisa just went to town with. And there was more knowledge than we got from the doctors and from the experts.
The Gangs faced their problem head-on, refusing to sit back and wait while the most important developmental years ticked away. They learned about the Summit Speech School for the hearing impaired. Tanner seems to benefit from the same approach as his hearing impaired peers. Claire Cantor is the executive director.
Our hope and our goal is to mainstream these children into their local kindergartens.
And Brandon's parents have found their own approach.
Sometimes Brandon will get frustrated when he has something to say, and after he says it a couple times, he'll cry. So what we have been doing is using a digital recorder to actually capture what he says, so I don't have to make him repeat it over and over.
These children have received early intervention, but what about the kids who were diagnosed much later? We spoke with Rachel Horowitz, age 21, and Khalid Mustafa, age 14, who have grown up with apraxia.
Yep, I'm going to Dean College, which is a 2-year school.
It took Rachel until high school to finally be diagnosed as apraxic, but she's made amazing strides since getting the appropriate speech therapy.
I'm majoring in early childhood, but when I go to my other school, that's when I'm going to start doing special ed.
And 14-year-old Khalid is an example of how effective the proper therapy can be. He's a true success story.
I was shy when I was younger because I was afraid no one would understand me. But now I'm more outgoing. I have lots of friends. I try to make friends.
The strength these kids have is a result of the heroic efforts of their families. Remember Brandon's father, Scott Bilker? He devised a website, and Lisa Gang works tirelessly bringing together parents from all over the country to monthly support groups. Here they can speak to professionals and learn from the experience of older kids with apraxia who have found their voice.
And I'm so happy that I can help so many people.
If you'd like more information regarding speech apraxia, you can log on to Lisa Gang's website. It's a little bit complicated. It is community.nj.com/cc/apraxia network. And to check out Scott Bilker's website, where you can actually hear other children with apraxia speak, just go to www.debtsmart.com/talk.